Welcome to the School of Love, the place where miracles are normal. Hello and welcome to the School of Love, the place where we learn practical tools based on scientific research and our own experiences towards improving ourselves, living life to its fullest, and contributing to the best of our abilities to the world around us. I am Dr. Grajdian. In my free time, I am doing my best to guide you in building up a life of contentment, joy, and fulfillment while applying lessons learned in school to overcome the difficulties, challenges, and insecurities of the real world. Today's video is part of a new series on the changing world order and its impact on regular citizens like you and me. I have been reading Ray Dalio's book, Principles for Dealing with the Changing World Order, published initially in November 2021, and it made me ponder on what it means for regular citizens like you and me that the entire world is undergoing dramatic changes, which we cannot influence at all, but which are crucially impacting our own lives and the future. In today's video on the changing world order and its impact on regular citizens like you and me, I share my thoughts on finances and the manner in which the concept and phenomenon of finances, but particularly personal finances, is changing itself under the pressure on individuals to continuously challenge and reinvent themselves. Enormously long life expectancy, unimaginable less than 4 or 5 decades ago, bring with them particular questions and preoccupations which have a huge influence on finances, particularly on personal finances. So what precisely is happening and what can we as individuals and as a collective do about it? This video explores this question on a personal level. How do finances and more particular personal finances change when the world is changing around us? So the most important thing and probably the most basic is that the life strategy which was taught to us by previous generations, which is save money, is not working anymore. So classically, I think they said by the age of 30 you should have saved 1 yearly salary. By the age of 40 you should have saved 10 or 5 yearly salaries, and by the age of 50 you should have saved 20 yearly salaries, and so on, so that you can retire at some point and live comfortably off your savings. And they also talk about the 4% rule. So they say it's roughly $1 to $2 million. Let's talk in dollars because it's easier. And which you have invested, and they would give you back 8 to 10% every year, which would mean, but then if you subtract taxes and insurances, you will have roughly 4 to 5% income per year, which would translate roughly in $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year, with which you could live comfortably for the rest of your life without touching the main deposit. If you ask me, and from what I have been reading for my own personal finances, some various books, and I have done a course on business administration and personal finances and financial planning, this is not working anymore. So my generation will be probably the first one to work until we die, or very shortly before we die. And I have become, in the meanwhile, the main promoter of saving money enough for taking care of oneself for the last weeks or month of life, because at some point we will all become unable to take care of ourselves. Let's put it like this. So we'll need care, we'll need support. But it is a difference between various scenarios. The ideal scenario is when you have enough money to hire someone to take care of you, and that period of time doesn't last too long, because I also believe in human dignity, and if one is too long a vegetable, which is essentially taken care completely by someone else, this is also not life. This is one point. So if you have enough money to pay, if you have enough savings to pay for someone to take care of yourself, and you are not a burden to anyone, neither to society nor to your children or family and friends, this is okay, I would say. But there is a huge difference to the other more prevalent scenarios in which you become unable to take care of yourself, and either you do not have the money to pay for someone to take care of you, so you are a burden to others, and you also live long decades, or you do have the money, but at some point that money runs out because you have outlived your savings. So I'm calculating right now that I save enough for hiring someone to take care of me for a couple, like let's say half a year, the longest. But saving in itself is not a life strategy anymore. What my generation, I think, what we're going to do is we cannot rely on the pensions we have paid insurances for our entire lives. This is passé as well. This doesn't exist anymore. No. If one relies on those systems, social systems, to support us financially in old age, we are already lost. I'm saying this to everyone, and they say I'm too cynical and pessimist. No, I'm very pragmatic. The next generations will have to fight the battles we didn't fight, and the previous generation postponed upon us. And they will have completely different priorities than taking care of humans who stay at home, who are retired for decades. They won't do that. I watch my students, I watch my children, and they do not have the mental capacity and the emotional openness to even conceptualize something like that. So we have to take care of ourselves. And then to live a healthy life, so healthy that when we get old and frail, we are still able to take care of ourselves as long as possible, so that when we need help and care, it will be actually for a very short period of time. And once again, we have to continuously educate ourselves and learn. So lifelong learning is a reality for my generation. It is a necessity for my generation. Those who do not do it will have a huge problem later on, because they will become a burden. And for instance, in some societies of the world, they say we have to hire people longer because they live such long lives, and if they go into pension at the age at which they should go, there will be a huge burden for the social systems. But the issue is that if they are kept into employment, they become a burden to younger employees because they have not learned anything. They do know what they have been doing for the past 40 years, but they do not know what is required nowadays in the workplace. And these are new requirements. The world is the way it is. Yeah? So in order not to become such a burden, in order for the employees to want to keep us, we have to educate ourselves. We have to learn continuously and very focused learning. So not just what we want. So things which are necessary, so that we are necessary in our turn to the societies and to those around us, so that we are not a burden. So we really have to understand that the social system as it functions nowadays was created in an era in which nobody actually got the retirement pension. There is a joke, I don't say it because it's public, but when Bismarck, who was the initiator of this social system and of the retirement pension, brought into fruition this project of the welfare state, he was very self-aware that the life expectancy was a specific one, and the retirement pension would start at an age which was way later than the life expectancy. So it wasn't meant to be given to everyone and anyone. It was a privilege in case one had survived so far, but the vast majority of the population would not survive that far. So when we think about finances nowadays, we really have to take into account the fact that we live very long lives. The social systems as they exist nowadays will collapse sooner rather than later. And we have to take care of ourselves in a manner in which is both sustainable and allows us an old age in dignity without becoming a burden to those around us. So I hope I deliver some insights, some useful insights. I hope we can contribute to the world around us. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to me. And I'm looking forward to welcoming you very soon again. Love and peace to you all.